Hey!
Peace, everybody. Welcome to the 7th annual MECCAcon Midwest Convention for Comics and Art. This is part of MECCAcon International Film Festival. These are our panels that I throw nationally and globally all year long, minus COVID 2020. We doing the best we can though this year. This year on our panel for Filmmakers Part 2, we have Korstiaan Vandiver, we have Bobby Yan, and we have Stefon Bristol. So I'm gonna let you all introduce yourselves briefly. Tell each other who you are, what you're about, what films that you worked on that people mostly know about, real quick. We'll start with Kors.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm Korstiaan Vandiver. I go by Kors. I am a writer, producer, director, most known for The Birth of a Nation. I was a producer, did BPS producing, did script notes as well for Mr. Nate Parker. And producer for a documentary that was unfortunately put on the shelf by Fox after the controversy. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Also have a film, Blue, that Maia has screened quite a bit for me. A feature film that I just wrapped called Jim Rat, and another film I just got in the can, which I was hoping to premiere some footage here, but I'm sure it'll be back at another festival called Orange Trees in celebration of National Suicide Prevention Month. And I would be remiss to shout out and send my condolences to the Jackson family and Tariq Jackson, who unfortunately just passed, a great filmmaker who unfortunately passed from suicide. So I'm going to dedicate that film to him. We just found out yesterday. So anybody who knows Tariq knows he's a guy who just had to love, man. So it's really surprising. But just wanted to say that, and happy to be here again with MECCAcon with some great people, Bobby and Stefon, who he knows I admire a whole lot. So super blessed to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Bobby.
Hey, well, first off, rest in power to Tariq. I
Indeed.
don't really know him per se, but he had added me recently, just a few months ago, on Facebook. So we were Facebook social friends. So, and I saw we have so many friends in common. So my heart is with him and his family and all the extended friends that know him. So my name is Bobby Yan, and again, really happy to be here for MECCAcon. And Crown, thank you for being a supporter of me since my first film, and you've been there for me, and I really appreciate that. And you're my sister. I'm an ally to Black film and all filmmakers of color, and in all forms. And my background was originally in music videos and commercials, and I did my first short proof of concept film a few years ago, which premiered at a few festivals, and actually that's where I met Stefon. So happy to see Stefon and all his success. And I've done a few more shorts since then, and now I'm working on my episodic TV career. I just finished the Disney ABC directing program, and just got management for the first time, so I'm pretty excited and see where things are going, and developing several projects, including a Asian American feature film that I'm really excited about, as well as a few other potential projects. So just that's me. Stefon.
I'm so sorry. My name is Stefon Bristol. Hello, how y'all doing? I am from Brooklyn, New York, the Republic of Brooklyn, New York City. I am the co-writer, and film director of Netflix original film See You Yesterday, with my man Spike Lee as the producer of the film. And I am blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be alive. My repertoire is Black sci-fi action adventure films, and now I'm attached to direct a feature film called Breathe with Thunder Road
pictures. I want to take a moment to say how profoundly and incredibly humbled I am to be invited by Maia, but also how pissed off I am of knowing Tariq Jackson's death at this moment. I did not know he died. That's my Morehouse brother. I knew him. He was my classmate at Morehouse. I did not know he died recently. I did not know that. So if I seem off, forgive me. I did not know, and I'm pretty shocked and pissed off of his death. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me, language. I did it. That's
we've been cussing all day on MECCAcon 2020. You're fine.
Whoa, I did films with this brother. At Morehouse. I knew him. We did poetry together. We did classes together. We was in the same rooms to try to get film studies done to the dean at Morehouse, at Dean Mills. I'm shocked. Yo, I'm sorry, I'm a little off right now. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let the questions go ahead.
Well, condolences to everybody who was impacted by that brother's presence as a whole, because I knew him as well. I didn't know him as much as you all did, but I definitely knew him. And it's a lot of people on social media that have been talking about it heavily. And he definitely had an impact in his community of friends, especially his community of peers. It was just as powerful as his work, his power and his presence. So all power and praise to him resting. What projects do you all have that you all think has most impacted the Black community, and why? And we can start with Korstiaan.
First, Stephen, Stefon, I'm sorry, man. I tried to catch you offline just to make sure you knew it. I don't know if you heard me. And so, yeah, man, I know it's a shock. I was honestly in tears yesterday. I had planned to call Tariq about a project actually yesterday that I wanted him to do with me, which was interesting, man. And it's mind blowing. So, again, brother, I'm so sorry. And I hate to drop the news on you like this, so I really apologize. As far as the film thing and the impact, honestly, I would have to say that film was the biggest film would be Nate Parker's, The Birth of a Nation, in terms of that kind of impact. I think I have some films in the works that are coming up that'll have that kind of impact, but I think Birth of a Nation had that kind of impact. I'm actually not a fan of slave movies. I've turned down at least one this year. Turned down quite a few. I think the thing that was different, one, it was Nate. We worked together obviously on Lou, and we worked together on a ton of stuff. I used to AD for Nate, and like his first short, and helped out with location stuff and different things. As you do when you do a project, and that project ended up getting financed. Originally, he was supposed to direct that, and kind of got pushed to the side, and he ended up starring in it, and producing it. And then later came The Birth of a Nation. But the impact of The Birth of a Nation was, for me, one, it was important just because it was one of those, the slave movie that didn't let people off the hook. So I was appreciative of, going through that script and realizing why Nat Turner was important to us, and Nate always calls him a hero. Nate Turner, Nat Turner is a powerful figure in our history. And so, I really love the story. I love the faith element to the story as well. Faith is always something I look at in stories, and obviously Nat Turner had a faith element. So, there's some people who still come and say, hey, I love Birth. I'm sorry, whatever happened. There's some people who come and say, man, I didn't like that film. I don't like Nate. Those kind of things happen too, but it's very impactful from that standpoint, I think, is in terms of the world. But I think, honestly, my smaller film, Lewis, had more of an impact in terms of the people that I've been able to reach, because that film, for some reason, I always have people coming to me, just oddly saying things like, I had two people at one screening come to me and say they were forgiving a murderer of their family member based on watching that film. Like two different people. One guy was getting out of jail in a couple months, and another guy only got 4 years for murdering somebody. And they were talking about, these two random people, like, because I saw your film, I can forgive these people. And those kind of things really blow my mind about art and how they affect people. So that's my piece. I'll digress, and, somebody else can pick it up. So thank you for that question, Crown.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Bobby? I already know the answer.
Well, first, shouts to Nate. Big fan of Nate, and friend of Nate, and as well as Gianni. So Gianni's like family to me. So, or Gigi. So, aside from that, I guess it would have to be my first film per se was Mars. It was important for me to hey Greg, it was important for me to do something from the heart that represented an original idea because I came from commercials, music videos. So for me to embark on something that I was, putting myself into was special for me just for that moment. But and also because of what the film represented, it represented much more than me, and it also represents my commitment to making sure that when I say we, I mean it means all of us, Asian, Black, Latino, women, LGBT, that we are seen both in front and behind the camera. That's one of my main things that keeps me going, is to make sure that I can set an example for myself as well as others in my whole life, in terms of just making sure that is a standstill for what I believe in and what I represent, and also every project that I move forward on. So that's probably the closest one to my heart. I'm developing that as a series as we speak, creating the pitch. I've been trying to do that for years, but I'm finally getting back to it now. So among several other projects.
And what about you, Stefon?
Repeat your
have
question
a lot
again.
of projects a lot of people aren't as familiar with. So I want to, fairly ask you, what is the project that you thought most resonated to you and your Black culture as a whole?
It was Ryan Coogler's first film, Fruitvale Station, that did it for me. That's when I saw that film, I said I gotta make a movie like that. That was very well made and very well thought out. It electrified me when I left the theater, and I was like, man, I want to. That inspired me to make sure I make my first feature film as strong as possible. That would push me to that's the movie I got to make, man. And I was surprised at how not a lot of people know about that film. Very, very surprised. Not a lot of people know about that.
Yeah, I am too.
Movie. And it was very special. It showed us who Ryan Coogler is, and his potential moving forward. So Fruitvale Station, Ryan Coogler.
And then as far as film industry goes, as far as the indie community, as far as the industry community, my bad, like I say, I'm doing 85 things right now. When we have conversations in film groups, like let's talk about Facebook real quick. When we have conversations when it comes to Black film, right? And then we are sometimes a part of group pages that are Black indie film, but a lot of times the filmmakers have more critique about Black indie film than they do about Black mainstream film. When I say mainstream, I'm using light quotes, because a lot of indie is mainstream. Do you all feel that the criticism is fair, or do you feel like it's unjust? Because a lot of times the short indie Black films are 50 times more true than the ones we see at the movie theaters. By far. By far though, and I feel that it takes a lot of convincing sometimes to get support for Black indie short films, far more than it is to get support for feature films. Like a lot of filmmakers look down on short films, and I've never understood that, because it seems like it's a lot more work to tell a whole story in 13 to 32 minutes than it is in an hour and a half to 2 hours. So how do you all feel about that? I know I just said 85 things in a row, but work it out.
I'm sorry, I mean to jump in. I'm sorry. I don't, because I'm very passionate about this topic right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people just want to say shit out their ass about not knowing. You know, so like the whole like I'm hardly on, you know, even though I have some Facebook groups and Twitter account, whatever, I'm hardly on there because people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about Black people, I love Black people, but we trying to hold, you know, each film as this is Blackness, and like, you know, this film represents, you know, us. And it's like, you guys, we're not a monolithic group, you know, and you know, there's so many stories within us that you know, because we don't have a chance. We haven't had the chance to move past or to even have the opportunities that white folks already had. So we're still learning, you know, going through it. And Cores and Bobby and Mike, please disagree if you disagree. But I, you know, because there's something about like, oh, it's made through a studio like Lionsgate, or Universal put out Michael D. Lee's movie, or you know, or Tyler Perry movie. Oh, you know, it's been money involved. It's studio backed. It's been distributed. We don't have there's a mystical thing as, oh, that is not critique because it's been widely released and back millions of dollars. It's been advertised everywhere. We need to get past that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong. I'm telling everybody that's listening right now, that you will get far in this industry and as an artist by making a short film first. You know, by making a proof of concept first, and then putting that out there. It's polished as possible, and then putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna make, you know, you think you write a TV pilot, and with the Bible, you're able to go out and get your TV show made. That's not people need to know who are you? Do you have a track record? Can you really do what you're putting on paper? And a short film or a group of short films goes a long way.
Would you all like to expand on that as well? Bobby, your course?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with Stefon. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? I feel like I'm breaking up, but
we can hear you. Go ahead.
We can hear you fine.
Totally
even if the camera messing up, we can hear you. Go ahead.
The bottom line is the industry that people don't. Okay, and so yeah, when that happens, you have like studios involved in those films, and those big films, you have changes and have things. A short filmmaker is free, you know, and the idea that you can be free and do something without somebody stepping on you or taking over, I think that's the thing that people don't understand. And I'm kind of in the vein of Stefon. I post specifically, but I don't stay on social media to do commenting or get into group stuff. You know, I critique films because I like films, not because of, you know, is it black film or is it, you know, white film? You know, in fact, I support films a lot of times, even when people don't support the film because they may not like a black British person in the film, or, you know, these kind of things. I feel like if there's a message that needs to get out and we can get that message out and that actor can portray that well, then I'm with it. And if the actor cannot portray it well, then that's where you get a critique from me, you know? And so, you know, it's like Stefon, you know, his short film and his feature film, I really was appreciative because Dante, one of his leads, was one of my students at the Nate Parker Foundation, one of the kids I was interacting with and really care about. And to see that, you know, that short film mentorship that we gave as a whole from Nate and all the people involved, Rada Blank and different people like that who were there, really fantastic people, Ty Matz and different people were really fantastic, helped to give these students you know, their leg up in short film. And I mean, so many of those students are doing so well now. And so anyway, I digress. I'll turn it over to Bobby to see what he says.
I'm gonna just, I mean, I have to concur. I think short films are the best training ground for filmmakers. Oh, we lost him.
He'll come back.
But yeah.
I had him back.
Okay. But I think it's you know, we talk about Hollywood and, you know, even just me understanding the critiques and the lenses that we see things through. When you're doing a short, it's your lens. It's unfiltered, right? Or even if you have the ability to do a feature, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever you create outside of the studio system is going through your lens, and it's not filtered through somebody else's lens that had the money and power and the gatekeeping control. And with that in mind, you know, if we don't have control of the media, then we're going to continue to have things that don't show, you know, people as human. We seeing things as a thinly veiled layer. You know, I was seeing the earlier panel, I was watching Yolanda speak, and she said something. She said there could be something that's seen as stereotype, but then as filmmaker, she wants to go deeper into behind the stereotype. What's the humanity behind that person? So that's what a short film under this gaze can show, is you have control over your image, right? I don't know if that's Stefon that sets upon the tone of what you're trying to say. But
120%, 120%, because you know, a short film provides. It's okay. We got like. That's not even studio. If you think my studio, you know, we think my money. You think my money. The studio producer, financiers, investors, whoever, they need to make sure that you have a glimmer of experience to pull this off. And a short film is like, okay, what does this look like? What money am I investing in? And is it actually good? You know what I'm saying? Do you know how to hire the best crew? Because sometimes these short filmmakers have the worst cinematographers. Stop hiring cinematographers that has their own equipment. Hire the cinematographer that knows how to do it, and then rent the motherfucking equipment and then do the film. You have to know how to hire the right people. And of course, he's laughing because he knows I'm right. You have to hire the right people. And the short film is to really show your voice as an artist, because the financiers, I'm investing somebody that shows themselves as an artist, have the voice, they know how to use or work the camera, and most importantly, can they effectively tell a story, keep me engaged, and do they know how to direct actors? That's very important. If you can do that within 13 minutes, of course, it's a great possibility you're going to do that within a feature film window.
Do you all feel that you all have been judged because you all started kind of in short films first before you all started working on your feature film? Do you all feel that you all have gotten like slighted because of that? Do you feel that you've gotten less support? Like for instance, Stefon, do you feel like even though you did the short film for See You Yesterday and you got all type of recognition for it, do you feel like you didn't get quote unquote validated until it got on Netflix as a feature film?
No, it's a requirement to do a short film, because when I went to NYU Film School, I had 6, 7, or 8 short films prior to See You Yesterday short film, right? And I had a feature script ready to go. Well, it wasn't ready. It was a draft. And I told my professors, and I told Spike, I said, guys, this is what I want to do with my thesis. I want to shoot my first feature film. It's March of that year. And I said, I want to shoot it in June. My professors and Spike told me I was delusional, because you can't turn around and make a movie that fast. That's one. And number two, all the short films I had prior weren't that great, to be honest. And it was brutally honest with me. And for me to really have a leg up with the financiers or whoever wanted to get it, do a short film first. And when I did the short film, people, and thank God it was well received, people was like, I want to see more of this. I'm fired up. I'm with you. I want to see more of this. How can I help you make that feature film movie? And along with the short film is the story of you as an artist. That's where public relations comes in. Oh, You are a poor film student trying to make it his business, and you actually have a fire short film. I want to be in the Stefon Bristol business. How can I help you? So the short film actually gave me a leg up because thank God it was actually was well received. I want to say it's good because I can't say what my own work is good. That sounds a little too selfish, but by all means, short film.
It was great.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I was obsessed with it.
Yeah. That's the only reason I know you, man, is because that film was like so like I was so blown away by your film. I was like, man, I gotta follow this dude. Like I just started following you and hitting you up on Facebook. That's how that's how good it was for me.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.
Did either one of you, Korstiaan or Bobby, ever feel like you all got a lot of flack because you all were more like, did people take you all less seriously? Because even as a film festival owner, I have to do a lot of shucking and jiving to convince people to watch short films. And I find that absolutely batshit crazy because I enjoy short films way more than I enjoy feature films these days. Like, do you all feel that you all have been felt like you all were slighted in any kind of way, or do you all feel like you all got more respect?
I don't know if Bobby want to go first. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll make it fast. I mean, it's the opposite. I think the shorts give you respect, right? Do something that comes from your heart. It's great. It's your entryway in, right? And and I'm gonna bring it even back further to my past, even a commercial or a music video. It's you're practicing production, and I'm gonna just say that I give respect to a lot of the music video directors of the past that built their foundation through working on short-term projects that gave them the build a tribe, build the experience to work with DPs, to work with editors, to work with ADs and everybody else. Even some work with some actors. So, but shorts particularly, you get to work with actors, and that's the most amazing thing to me. So music videos, you're working with music artists, which in many ways their egos are way bigger than actors as well. And you learn how to work with that. So it's all part of the same microcosm to make you a better filmmaker. So I'm going to say it didn't hurt me. It's helped me. So go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize.
So go ahead.
I was just saying I apologize. I'm frozen, but yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, for me, obviously, it's opened just a lot of doors. I mean, it took me forever to get to a feature film, and so doing a short well after doing multiple shorts not well, I got to experience what it was like, to get into festivals and to kind of hobnob with great people like Bobby and Stefon and different festivals. I remember being in festival with Ryan Coogler, a couple, before Fruitvale was taking off, and so it was just kind of crazy to be around people with a certain caliber and a talent, and to learn from those people, because that's the great thing about these festivals is you meet people, and these people become, if you can make friends with them, you can learn stuff from people. I'm big on learning, and I'm big on legacy. I mean, you had Sean Antoine on your panel earlier today, and I produced his short film with Nate. Nate was an exec producer on that film as well, but that was called Showtime. And I mean, Nate, that was his first film. I mean, 52 festivals later, he's an award-winning filmmaker. I mean, he's worked on the Blacklist. This kid is like, he's taken off. And so it's like those kind of things I really recommend to people to do a short. I mean, I have 2 features now based on, my short film. One, the Tamir Rice project, which, now is at CAA. Thank God it's being championed in company Night Fox Entertainment, which is the production company. And then I have another project with David Goyer as the executive producer. But, it's interesting to have people, Kevin Turin as well, people like that. They look at your work, they look at your work and they say, I think you have talent, and that means a lot, when you can put forth your best effort in a short film. And I still make short films because it helps you. It works your muscle in filmmaking while you wait on a feature or do something. I just love filmmaking, so I don't want to sit around and not do something. So yeah, I don't see why anybody would hate on a short film. I mean, there's studios doing short films still. Robert De Niro just did a short film with Martin Scorsese. This stuff happens. Short films are beautiful. So, anyway,
it's studios doing Kickstarters.
There we go. I just want, before we move on to this subject, I just want to let people give some names of successes as well with short films and short content and what the successes went through. So we got A.V. Rockwell. I want anybody to know who A.V. Rockwell is. She did something called Open City Mixtape. And those collection of short films, the black and white, beautifully shot short films, got her a lot of accolades and also got her to commercial film work. And another person that helped her get into commercial film work is Brittany Fennell.
Yeah,
she did 2 short films in the
MECCAcon Collective as well.
Yeah, the Queen Collective with so she was in MECCAcon and she was in Tribeca with a lot of Black Star, a lot of film festivals.
Won a lot of awards for both of those, especially
now,
After Dark.
Absolutely, and now she's doing commercials for herself as well. She's been hired to do 2 Cadillac commercials because of those short films.
Mm-hmm. Huge commercials.
Huge, and she's getting paid. So don't knock on short films because short films shows you can you do the work. Another person, Issa Rae. For those who want to get into television, she made a series first before she went out to HBO and did Insecure.
Yep, and then her own production company. Yep.
Take steps. Mm-hmm. Justin Simeon. He did a trailer for Dear White People.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how he got Dear White People made. So don't knock the shorts.
Don't knock the No, I mean, I totally agree. I just wanted to hear y'all expand on it because I mean, I personally agree with all of the above. You know what I mean? And then once again, like I said earlier, like it seems to be, I'm not a filmmaker, but it sure as hell seems to be a lot harder to tell a whole story in 1/9 the time that somebody else has, let alone the budget, let alone the resources, let alone the equipment, let alone all of that. And then they come out of absolutely nowhere and just shit on everybody. So that has to be, something, for a short film to get the same type of accolades as a feature film does, let alone many short films get far more. So I've always been impressed. I've always been inspired by filmmakers as a whole, let alone indie filmmakers, let alone indie short filmmakers. Like, I think you all are just the shit. You know what I mean? Like, I really sincerely mean that. And I'm always going to uplift and praise y'all because I feel like you all don't get enough of it in the public eye. Not in the industry eye, but in the public eye. You know what I mean? Because if we could normalize having short films on television, it would be a lot better for a lot of people. It really would. But we have to get the industry to normalize short films, not just on PBS. Because PBS loves short films. Netflix used to love short films. But, we have to really get that normalized to where the industry grabs hold on short films more. And I think that would be great, especially for the youth to see short films, short indie films. I think that would be so inspiring for them to get them into wanting to do their own films themselves. Is there any projects that you all have coming up before we wrap it up? Or anything you all want us to know about? See, Stefon got...
Go Bobby. No. Go Bobby, go Korst. I know you got something up your sleeve.
Me, I am, like I said, in development of several projects, including rewrites on an Asian American feature film that I've been working on for a long time now that I'm pretty excited about. And I'll just say, my goal of my film, you know, being an Asian American filmmaker with an Asian American feature, it's also about healing and teaching within my community, and also to build the bonds between other people of color and other people within the storyline. I think some of y'all know what it's about, but that's one of my goals of it. It's a big goal, and I really do hope, you know, everybody will watch it. But I really particularly think and hope that Asian people will watch it, Asian Americans, and including Asians and you know, out of country, overseas. So, but I'll say this, you know, this is what I will say. I'm sure you guys can understand. This is one thing I've realized after I've started pitching this project, is a lot of people, you know, I have a lot of great supporters and allies in this project, a great team behind me, but I've also found a few people that read my project or read the pitch, and they're like, oh, okay, it's nice, but it's not for us. And I realize it's because it's the invisibility of Asians. It's got an invisibility factor. They don't care about an Asian American lead, right? That's something that I have to work to change. That means I have to work within the system, outside the system. It's something that I have to fight, and I will fight. And even again, me as a director, invisibility behind the camera, right? It's really difficult. It's difficult for Asian American directors just as well as other people as well to get these jobs. We have to work really hard. We have to work harder. And so for me, it's just about, you know, raising visibility and being louder, not being quiet. You know, people expect Asian people to be quiet, and I'm not going to be quiet. If there's anything we learn from these protests and these horrible murders, it's that we can't be quiet, right? So that's where I stand right now in my heart, and that's all of my projects that I'm working on have that heart entailed into it. You know, that's what I'm doing.
Anybody else have anything?
For me,
okay.
Yeah, for me as an artist, you know, everything for me is kind of like, what can I say with the project? And so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There's not much I can talk about. There's a TV show in the works that's pretty important. So I hope, you know, everything happens, and it looks like it'll happen soon, but there's something really important going on there. And I'll definitely come back to talk about it when the time is right. And then obviously, you know, Ntare, we've been fighting for a long time, and it looks like it's going to happen soon. So hopefully that does happen, and I'll be shooting, you know, sometime this year before 2020 ends, I hope. And then we'll be talking about that next year, I hope. And you know, there's this other project that kind of can't speak on as well, and it's close too. So it looks like I'll be shooting in 2021 with that one. And then there's a couple other shows floating around at streamers. So I have a lot of things kind of floating around, and just some personal projects as well. So On Trees is the next project I'm going to release, and it's about suicide. I guess the tagline really is Black Bodies, Coronavirus, and Strange Fruit. And so it's a horror thriller. Yeah, go. What were you going to say?
What about you, Stefon? What are you allowed to talk about, Stefon? Huh?
No, I think Cord still has
I'm sorry. I thought you. Oh, my bad.
We can't hear you. Huh? Huh, Cord? You're mute, Cord. You're on mute.
Went off. Oh.
Hello.
Yes.
We hear you now.
Yeah, it keeps going mute for some reason. I'm so sorry. It's like I push it and it goes back. I'm having a lot of technical difficulties over here.
Y'all all right?
Yeah,
it's
no,
been
go
all
ahead. I'm
day.
done.
We still good.
I said what I had to say, brother. Yep. So I'm done. I was done. Go for it.
Okay. I am attached. Well, no, not attached. I am going to direct a feature film called Breathe, produced by Thunder Road Films. It takes place in the distant future where the Earth no longer has any oxygen. Ooh. And it's a mother and daughter team who are scientists who have to protect their bunker from outside invaders who are trying to steal the oxygen machine. It's an intense sci-fi thriller. It's about protecting our children, and also is about saving our planet. Letting people know that we got to save this. Global warming is real. Just read an article today that North Pole polar caps are melting like a motherfucker. You know, there's a quote, there's a Native American quote, goes like this: we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrowed it from our children. We did not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrowed it from our children. In a couple of years, our world will probably go down in flames. You see that in LA, in San Francisco, it's going down in flames. Tornadoes, hurricanes, cats and dogs live together, pandemonium. What can we do to protect our world, our earth?
That's dope. Yeah, you just dropped the mic on us. Actually, I remember one more thing too. I sit on a board for this AIDFF. It's like it's an African documentary film festival, and it's bridged between Nigeria and America. And so we have an international arm that I'm now on the board and the head of with another young lady out of Chicago. And yeah, I mean we're looking to highlight, you know, what Stefon was talking about, some of the stuff that's happening globally in some of the documentaries, you know, as well as activist issues, etc. And even making a platform for, you know, for the diaspora, where artists who have African content, no matter what it is, right? So, you know, comic book artists, clothing designers, anybody who's doing anything that's linked to Africa. And it could be, you know, Bobby could have a film about, you know, Africans. But the bottom line is we make a platform for people to sell their merchandise on our site as well. And so, you know, that's something that's going on. And also partnership with Morehouse that I'm excited about, where I'm doing some screenwriting courses, kind of screenwriting course is the right word. So that's it.
That's a lot, by the way.
I just talk too much.
And Maya, your mic is off. Your mic is off, Maya. Your mic is off.
My bad. I'm just running my mouth. But yeah, I definitely thank y'all so much for continuously supporting me, specifically, not just me, but supporting my passion for Blackness. A lot of people get real stressed out about me being so Black. I thank y'all three for not being scared of me being so Black. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all helping me grow. I appreciate y'all giving me so many films constantly with just me asking half of a time for my little engine that could film festival. Thank y'all so much for pulling up today with no hesitation. I'm being sincere. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you all three specifically. Like for real, for real. Thank y'all so much. So much.
You got it. And thank you.
So much love for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And RIP to Lee Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, peace. I guess we out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, definitely.
All right.